Ladies and gentlemen, champions in the making, welcome to the year 2025, a new year, a fresh slate. But let me tell you something that most people won't. A new year won't do anything for you if you bring the same old mindset into it. A new calendar doesn't change your life. Your decisions do, your beliefs do, your actions do. See, too many people are sitting around waiting for their break. Waiting for someone to bless them, waiting for permission to be great. But what if I told you, you don't need permission, you already have a calling, you already have purpose, you already have the potential? What you need is commitment, what you need is obedience to your own vision. Because you owe it to you, you don't need permission. Walk in your purpose. Comfort is the thief of calling. Success requires the full price. No discounts. Stop negotiating with your potential. Ownership over blame. Your future is your responsibility. Excellence over perfection. Show up no matter what. You don't need permission. Walk in your purpose. Too many people are living their lives stuck in neutral, waiting for someone to tap them on the shoulder and say, "You're good enough now." They wait for approval from others, family, friends, employers, society, before they start stepping into the life they know they were meant to live. But that's not how purpose works. Purpose is not a title someone gives you. Purpose is a call that's already been placed on your life. The moment you were created, purpose was assigned. You don't need anyone's permission to pursue it. What you need is clarity, conviction, and the courage to move, even when nobody else sees what you see. We've been conditioned from a young age to seek validation. Good grades, gold stars, performance reviews, promotions. External signals that we're doing it right. But when it comes to living in alignment with your purpose, those signals can become chains. Because what happens when your purpose doesn't fit the mold? What happens when your calling contradicts the status quo? You hesitate. You hold back. You delay your destiny, not because you don't believe in it deep down, but because you're still waiting for someone else to tell you it's okay. Let me be clear, there are people right now less qualified than you doing what you dream of doing simply because they decided to start. They didn't wait. They didn't ask for approval. They just moved. And the truth is, movement creates momentum. You may not have it all figured out, but you don't need a full blueprint to take the first step. Purpose reveals itself through action. As you walk in the direction of your calling, doors open, opportunities appear, and skills you didn't even know you had begin to surface. But none of that happens until you stop waiting for the green light and realize you are the green light. When you start walking in your purpose, some people will misunderstand you. That's fine. They weren't assigned your vision. They weren't given your gift. Stop expecting people to co-sign a contract that God gave only to you. When you're waiting for everyone else to agree with your dream, you disqualify yourself from the journey before it even begins. Purpose is personal. It's tailor-made. It's not a committee decision. Sometimes the permission we think we need from others is really just fear in disguise. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of not being enough. But fear is a liar, and every time you delay acting on your purpose, you reinforce that lie. You give it power. Walking in purpose is an act of defiance against fear. It's saying, I may not know how this ends, but I know why I started. It's saying, I'd rather be misunderstood walking in alignment than celebrated living a lie. We live in a culture obsessed with credentials. But purpose isn't about what letters you have after your name. It's about the impact you were born to make. There's nothing wrong with preparation, education, or training. But don't let your pursuit of readiness become a form of procrastination. At some point, you have to stop studying and start building, stop planning and start producing. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be obedient. When you walk in your purpose, something changes in your energy. People notice, not because you're louder, but because you're clearer, not because you're trying harder, but because you're finally aligned. There's a power that comes from knowing who you are and why you're here. That power doesn't come from applause. It comes from authenticity. The most powerful version of you is not the one trying to please everyone. It's the one rooted in truth. There's someone right now waiting on you to say yes to your purpose. Your obedience to your calling isn't just about you. It's about the lives you were meant to touch, the problems you were uniquely designed to solve, the legacy you were born to build. And that's why you can't afford to keep waiting for someone else to give you the green light. The clock is ticking. The world needs what you have, not later, not someday, now. You don't need permission to become who you were always meant to be. You already are that person. You just have to start walking like it. You've been equipped, even if you can't see it yet. You've been qualified, even if you doubt it. The only thing left is the decision to move. Purpose doesn't chase, it waits, and it's waiting on you to answer. Comfort is the thief of calling. Comfort is seductive. It whispers to you that you're fine right where you are. It tells you that tomorrow is just as good a time to start as today. It convinces you that risk is dangerous and that playing it safe is wise. But here's the truth. Comfort will lull you into complacency, and complacency will rob you of your calling. Comfort is not your friend, it's your prison, and the bars are built out of excuses, distractions, and false security. Every major breakthrough in your life will require you to step out of what's familiar and into what's uncomfortable. Why? Because your calling lives in the realm of the unknown. Growth does not happen inside the boundaries of ease. Destiny doesn't unfold in your safe zones. What's easy is rarely transformative, and what's transformative is rarely easy. That's why so many people talk about change but never experience it. They want transformation without disruption. But it doesn't work that way. If you want to elevate, something has to shift. Comfort keeps you tied to your past while calling pulls you into your future. The two are at war. One says, stay here where it's predictable. The other says, come forward where it's possible. One demands nothing and offers nothing. The other requires everything and gives back more than you can imagine, but you can't have both. You must choose, and most people don't even realize they've already chosen. Every day you delay action in favor of what feels easy. You're voting for comfort. And every day you push through resistance and step into growth. You're voting for your calling. Think about what comfort has cost you. Opportunities missed because you didn't want to be embarrassed. Relationships you didn't build because you feared rejection. Ideas that died in notebooks because you were afraid to look foolish. Comfort is expensive, but it doesn't send you a bill up front. It charges you in regret, little by little, quietly, over time. There is nothing wrong with rest, with recovery, with peace, but comfort becomes dangerous when it's your default, when it's no longer a place to recharge, but a place to hide. Some of you are calling your hiding wisdom. You say you're waiting on confirmation, or just being patient. But deep down, you know it's fear wrapped in logic. You know the longer you stay still, the more distant your calling becomes. And yet, comfort keeps your feet glued to the floor, convincing you that motion is riskier than stagnation. But here's the irony. The real danger isn't in the leap, it's in the standstill. Because while you're waiting, the world is moving. Time is passing, purpose is waiting, and someone else, less talented but more courageous, is stepping into the space you were meant to fill. Calling doesn't wait forever. It demands action, not perfection. Not expertise, action. Every time you stretch, every time you make a decision that scares you, every time you walk into a room where you feel unqualified, you are shrinking comfort and expanding calling. It doesn't feel good at first. It feels like loss, like failure. But what you're losing is the illusion of safety. What you're gaining is power. Your calling was never meant to be convenient. It's meant to challenge you, to refine you, to elevate you. There's greatness inside you that comfort will never let you discover. You'll only find it in the fire, in the tension, in the places where you don't feel ready, but you go anyway. Comfort doesn't build legacy, it builds routine. Calling builds something eternal, something that outlives you, but you have to decide which voice you'll listen to, the one that wants to keep you safe or the one that dares you to be more. The voice of comfort or the voice of calling, only one can lead your life. Success requires the full price, no discounts. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants the reward, but very few are willing to pay what it costs. And here's the truth that most won't tell you. Asterisk, asterisk, success is expensive. Asterisk, asterisk, not in money, but in discipline, in sacrifice, in consistency, in discomfort. You don't get to bargain your way into greatness. There are no coupons for mastery, no shortcuts to impact. Success does not respond to intentions. It responds to investment. The reason many people don't experience the success they desire isn't because they're not smart enough, talented enough, or even capable enough. It's because they keep trying to get it at a discount. They want the $1 million result with a minimum wage work ethic. They want overflow, but only put in effort when they feel like it. They want to reap what they haven't sown. But nature doesn't work that way. Purpose doesn't work that way. And success definitely doesn't work that way. You can't just want success. You have to work for it consistently, whether you feel motivated or not. Motivation is fleeting. Discipline is what carries you when motivation disappears, and make no mistake, it will disappear. There will be days when it's hard, when it's boring, when it's thankless. But those are the days that separate the amateurs from the professionals, the committed from the casual, the driven from the drifting. If you're serious about your calling, you have to decide that average is no longer an option. You don't get to live an extraordinary life by doing ordinary things. You want uncommon results that requires uncommon effort, uncommon focus, uncommon resilience, the kind of effort that keeps showing up after the applause fades, the kind of focus that says no to distractions even when they're comfortable, the kind of resilience that keeps moving forward even when the plan doesn't go how you expected. We live in a culture obsessed with speed. Everyone wants results now, but success doesn't operate on your timeline. It operates on the principle of sowing and reaping. You sow in one season, you reap in another. The problem is, most people quit in the in-between, the waiting. They start strong, but they don't endure. But if you quit during the process, you forfeit the promise. There's a price to pay for success, and the currency is daily decisions. The choices you make when no one is watching, the sacrifices you make when no one claps. The hours you put in when there's no recognition, the humility to start small, the patience to keep building, the courage to keep believing, those are the costs, and if you're not willing to pay them, then don't expect the reward. Success is not a destination you stumble into. It's the result of alignment, intentionality, and follow-through. You don't wake up successful. You become successful through your habits, your choices, your attitude. And you don't get to skip steps. You don't get to outsource the struggle. You have to earn your growth. Nobody else can do your push-ups. Nobody else can take your steps. That's your work. That's your investment. What you compromise to get, you will eventually lose. That's why shortcuts don't last. That's why fake success crumbles under pressure. Because only the real thing can survive the process. The process is not punishment, it's preparation. It's there to make sure you become the kind of person who can sustain the level you're asking for. If success came easy, you wouldn't be ready for it. The pressure is what builds the character required to carry the blessing. You don't just deserve success because you want it. You qualify for it because you were willing to do the work. Every step of the journey is a transaction, effort for progress, discipline for results, obedience for reward. You either pay now in sweat, focus, and sacrifice, or you pay later in regret, mediocrity, and missed opportunity. There's no half-price version of destiny. You either go all in or you stay where it's safe. But don't expect to reap the fruit of a level you're unwilling to fully commit to. Success is not sold in pieces. It's bought in full. Stop negotiating with your potential. Potential is not a guarantee. It's a responsibility. You don't get credit just for having it. Too many people carry greatness inside of them, but never access it because they keep making deals with their doubt. They compromise their dreams for convenience. They settle for what's easy instead of fighting for what's possible. Every time you delay, every time you downplay your gift, every time you tell yourself later, you're negotiating with your potential, and every negotiation is a step further from your purpose. You weren't created to live at 60% of what you're capable of. You weren't designed to dim your light to make others comfortable. But potential without pursuit is just wasted opportunity. It becomes rust. And the saddest part, you don't even feel the loss right away. It creeps up on you year after year, choice after choice, until one day you wake up and realize you've built a life far beneath what you were capable of, all because you kept compromising. Stop trying to convince yourself that comfort is enough. You already know it's not. You feel it every time you say yes to something smaller than your calling. You feel it in the pit of your stomach when you see others doing what you know you were made to do. That's not jealousy. That's conviction. It's the voice of your potential saying, "We were supposed to do that." And instead of silencing that voice with excuses, it's time to answer it with action. Negotiating with your potential often looks like perfectionism. You say you're not ready yet, but deep down you're afraid, so you wait, you tweak, you stall. You convince yourself you're being strategic when really you're just stuck in fear. But let me tell you something, you will never feel fully ready. At some point you just have to leap. You have to stop editing the plan and start executing it. The clarity you're waiting for won't come until you move. Other times, negotiating looks like settling for good enough. You take the job that pays well, even though it drains your spirit. You stay in environments that feel safe, even though they stifle your growth. You aim for goals you can hit, just to avoid the risk of failure. But every time you shrink to fit something smaller than your design, you dishonor your potential. You were built for more. And deep down you know it. Your potential is not passive. It requires participation. It requires pressure. Diamonds aren't formed in silence. They are formed in struggle. Steel isn't forged in comfort. It's forged in fire. That resistance you feel when you try to level up, that's the process. That's your potential demanding more from you. And if you keep running from it, you'll keep living below it. There's a version of you on the other side of fear, on the other side of doubt, on the other side of delay, that is stronger, wiser, and more impactful than you can imagine. But you don't meet that version by playing small. You meet them by showing up every single day with intention, with discipline, with boldness. You meet them when you stop negotiating with your potential and start declaring, "I'm done playing below what I was created for." You can either make excuses or make progress, but not both. You can either protect your ego or pursue your evolution, but not both. Your potential doesn't need more time. It needs more trust. Trust in what's already inside you. Trust in the process. Trust in the God who placed that potential in you to begin with. Ownership over blame. Your future is your responsibility. Blame is easy. It gives you something to point at when things go wrong. It gives you someone to hold accountable when life doesn't go as planned. But blame also steals your power. Every time you blame someone else, your parents, your boss, the economy, your past, you hand over control of your future. You say, I can't move forward until they fix it. But here's the truth. No one is coming to rescue you. No one owes you the life you want. Your future is your responsibility, and until you take ownership of it, nothing changes. Ownership doesn't mean everything is your fault. It means everything is your move. It means you don't get to control all your circumstances, but you control your response, your attitude, your effort, your decisions. Ownership is not about blame, it's about empowerment. It's saying, regardless of what's happened to me, I choose what happens next. You cannot rise while clinging to excuses. You cannot grow while rehearsing everything that went wrong. The most successful people aren't the ones who had perfect conditions. They're the ones who refused to let their conditions define their capacity. They stopped waiting for ideal and started working with what they had. That's ownership. It's seeing reality clearly but still moving forward with faith and focus. It's refusing to be a victim of your story and instead becoming the author of your next chapter. Blame feels good in the short term. It relieves you from the weight of responsibility, but over time it becomes a prison. It locks you in a mindset that says, as long as things outside me are broken, I can't be whole. That's a lie. Your breakthrough isn't waiting for someone else to change, it's waiting for you to decide. Ownership is the first step to freedom. The moment you say, this is on me, you take back your power to change it. There's a difference between fault and responsibility. Something may not be your fault, but it's still your future. And if it's your future, then it's your job to fight for it. That means doing the hard work of healing, the hard work of showing up, the hard work of learning what you didn't know before. It means forgiving what hurt you so you don't stay stuck in it. It means choosing progress over pity. You may have been knocked down, but staying down is a decision. When you blame others, you stay focused on the problem. When you take ownership, you shift your focus to solutions. You start asking better questions. What can I learn from this? What can I do differently? How can I turn this setback into a setup? That's the mindset that builds leaders. That's the mindset that transforms potential into results. Owning your life doesn't mean doing it alone. It means leading it intentionally. It means you stop waiting for permission and start building what you were called to build. It means you recognize that no one else will care about your dream as much as you do. And that's okay, because it's your dream. Your life. Your responsibility. And when you stop expecting someone else to fix what's broken, you realize you had the tools all along. Responsibility is not a burden. It's a blessing. It means your life is in your hands, not someone else's. It means you get to decide what to do with what you've been given. Whether you've been given a lot or a little, you're still called to multiply it, still called to grow, still called to move forward. Until you take full ownership of your future, you'll keep waiting for things to change. But once you accept that it's on you, you'll realize you have everything you need to start changing it right now. Discipline is the bridge between desire and destiny. Wanting something doesn't make it real. Passion without discipline is just noise. You can have the biggest vision, the clearest goals, and the deepest hunger. But if you don't have the discipline to show up consistently, none of it matters. Discipline is the quiet force behind every fulfilled purpose. It's not glamorous. It's not exciting. It's daily. It's often invisible. But it's the difference maker. Discipline is doing what's required even when you don't feel like it. It's keeping your word to yourself long after the emotion that inspired it has faded. Emotion starts the race. Discipline finishes it. Everyone's excited at the beginning. But when it's dark, when it's early, when it's uncomfortable, when nobody is watching, that's when discipline shows up and does the work. Most people don't fail because they lack vision. They fail because they lack habits that support the vision. They're addicted to hype and allergic to consistency, but destiny doesn't respond to hype. It responds to patterns, to structure, to the small, repeatable actions that compound over time. Discipline is how you earn trust with your future. Every day you choose discipline, you cast a vote for the person you're becoming. You don't rise to the level of your potential. You fall to the level of your standards, and standards are set and kept through discipline. If your standard is only when I feel like it, you will live a reactive life, constantly at the mercy of mood, distraction, and resistance. But if your standard is every day, no matter what, you begin to separate yourself from the pack. You stop being driven by how you feel and start being led by who you are becoming. Discipline is also the gatekeeper of freedom. It may feel restrictive, but in reality, it's what gives you power, the power to create, the power to lead, the power to say no to what's good so you can say yes to what's great. Without discipline, your life becomes reactive, scattered, and shallow. With discipline, your life becomes focused, ordered, and powerful. Every great achievement stands on a foundation of disciplined choices. It's not about being perfect, it's about being consistent. Missing one day doesn't break you, but letting it turn into a habit does. Discipline is how you stay in the game when it gets hard. It's how you keep sowing when the harvest hasn't come yet. It's how you stay ready so you don't have to get ready. You don't build legacy on hype. You build it on habits. Discipline is the difference between potential and progress, between wishing and walking, between dreaming and doing. It's the invisible grind behind visible greatness. It's not always exciting, but it's always effective. Because when the dust settles, the ones who win aren't the loudest. They are the most disciplined.